There are total 6 fundamental rights in Indian Constitution which are granted to every citizen of India. Number 1, the right to equality. Number 2, right to freedom. Number 3, right to freedom of religion. Number 4, right to freedom from exploitation or against exploitation. Then cultural and education right, and last is right to constitutional remedies. So all these 6 fundamental rights are granted to every citizen of India, and and these 6 fundamental rights, they cannot be taken away from any citizen, only except in special circumstances, that is if national emergency is declared, then fundamental rights can be suspended. Definition of fundamental rights. Students, you must remember what are fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are essential human rights that are offered to every citizen irrespective of his caste, race, creed, place of birth, religion, or gender. These are equal to freedoms, and these rights are essential for personal good and the society at large. So these fundamental rights, they are very important for any individual and who is a citizen of India, irrespective of his caste, color, race, gender, or wherever he is born in all over India, whatever the circumstances. But these 6 fundamental rights are granted to him, and these are his rights. So already in the previous introductory part of the chapter, the meaning of rights, how you can claim your right and what is your right, has been already explained. The very first right, right to equality. Now I will be explaining what is right to equality. As the meaning suggests, equality means equal. There is no discrimination. So there cannot be no discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of the above. And this right also prohibits any discrimination in public employment on any of the above mentioned basis. Even this right is very important because our society did not practice equal access in the past. The practice of untouchability is one of the reason for inequality, and even it was very much in prevalent in the past. So the right to equality provides that the state shall confer no discriminations. There should be no discriminations and no title on a person except those who excel themselves in military or academic field. Right to equality also strives to make India a true democracy by ensuring a sense of equality, dignity, and status among all its citizens. This right also ensures equality of opportunities, means that all the sections of the society enjoy equal opportunities. So, right to equality, it states that there will be equality before law. Everyone is equal in the eyes of law, that all the citizens shall be equally protected by the laws of the country. Then it also implies that Article 15 of Constitution states that no person shall be discriminated on the basis of caste, color, language, or any other base. Even every person shall have equal access to public places like public parks, museums, wells, bathing ghats, and temples, etc. However, state may make any special provision for women and children. And in matters of public employment also, the state cannot discriminate against anyone in the matters of employment. All citizens can equally apply for government jobs. Rather, they must fulfill the requirement what is being there on education basis or whatever the merit may be. But all citizens have equality to apply for government jobs. Then abolition of titles, abolition of untouchability. Under these, that practice of untouchability is an offense and nobody should be doing it, and if fined doing this, it is punishable by law. Then abolition of titles, it states that Constitution prohibits the state from conferring any title. Like now, titles have been abolished. The title of Raja, Maharaja, and King all have been abolished in order to practice equality. So, citizens of India cannot accept titles from a foreign state. Rather, if they have done anything which excels in military or academic and they have been conferred any title from the government. Second right is right to freedom. Right to freedom or liberty. It is most essential to democracy. It is not possible to think without thinking of right to freedom. Liberty means freedom of thought, expression, and action. However, it does not mean freedom to do anything that one desires or likes. Means it doesn't mean if you have to right to freedom, if you have right to freedom, that doesn't mean that you can do anything, because it may harm the freedom of other. If that were to be permitted, then large number of people will not be able to enjoy their freedom. Therefore, freedoms are defined in such a manner that every person will enjoy her freedom without threatening freedom of others and without endangering the law and order situation. So, right to freedom is your fundamental right, but it doesn't mean that you can enjoy it to such a extent that the other people will not be able to enjoy their own freedom. So, this right gives you freedom of thought, expression, and action, but not at the cost of others. Right to freedom is a cluster of various rights. Number one, freedom of speech and expression. Then, freedom to assemble peacefully without arms. Freedom to form associations or unions. Freedom to move freely throughout the territory of India. Freedom to reside and settle in any part or the territory of India, and freedom to practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade, or business. So, coming with number one, freedom of speech and expression. It means that you have freedom to speak anything, you can express your feelings, but it doesn't mean that you can enjoy your freedom of speech and expression at the cost of others. You cannot curtail freedom of speech and expression of others. So, freedom of speech and expression, it enables an individual to participate in public activities. The phrase freedom of press has not been used in Article 19, but freedom of expression includes freedom of press. Do you understand? Means freedom of expression, it includes freedom of press. Press means whatever the press reporters or they can express against anything or any issue or debate. It is their freedom of expression, which includes that press is free to publish anything, but it should not harm others or others' freedom, or anyone should not be defamed. Number two, freedom to assemble peacefully without arms means state can impose reasonable restrictions in the interest of public order and sovereignty and integrity of India. Means you have freedom to assemble anywhere, but you cannot assemble with arms. Arms here means arms and ammunitions. आप हथियार लेकर कहीं भी इकट्ठे assemble नहीं हो सकते. This is against the public order. So, public order, public law, and everything is to be seen. For that, you have freedom to assemble anywhere, but it should be peaceful. It should not be against anything. Like if you want to protest, even that is allowed, but that should be without arms, so that lawlessness should not prevail. Then freedom to form associations or unions. It means that state can impose reasonable restrictions on this freedom in the interest of public order, morality, and the sovereignty and integrity. Means You can form associations or unions, but you can protest peacefully, or you have every right that you can enjoy this freedom, but it should not harm the interest of public order. Then freedom to move freely throughout the territory of India. You can move throughout India in the interest of general public. For example, restrictions may be imposed on movement and traveling so as to control epidemics. And here, if we got the example, right now the situation is that lockdown is there, so your freedom to move freely throughout the territory of India is not granted to you because it is against the national interest. And so in order to control pandemic COVID-19, this freedom is not allowed to anyone. It is just because it is in the interest of general public. It is important right now that there should be restrictions on the free movement of the people. Next is freedom to reside and settle in any part of the territory of India. It means there should be reasonable restrictions by the state in the interest of the general public or for the protection of the scheduled tribes, because certain safeguards are envisaged here seem to be justified to protect indigenous and tribal peoples from exploitation and coercion. Coercion means force, and indigenous and tribal people are those who are the natives of that particular place. So you have freedom to reside and settle any part of the territory of India, but if any territory is restricted for this reason, you cannot reside over there or you cannot settle over there. Like here, if I take example of Jammu and Kashmir, you can go there, as a tourist, and you can move freely over there, but you cannot reside. It was under article 370 they were granted the this provision, but now as article 370 is evoked, so now you can take property over there and you can reside. So there may be some restrictions by the government or in our constitution just for in the interest of general public or for the protection of that particular place, then this freedom is not granted. Otherwise, freedom to reside and settle in any part of the territory of India is granted to every citizen. Right to freedom. In that, the last cluster is freedom to practice any profession. Like you have freedom to practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade, or business. You can be in any business on which state may impose some restrictions in the interest of the general public. Thus, there is no right to carry on a business which is dangerous or immoral. Now, here, students, you must understand that if you have freedom to practice any profession, it doesn't mean that you can become terrorist, because it is against the interest of the general public and it is against the interest of the nation. Or you can carry on any occupation, trade, or business, but you cannot say that I want to deal with drugs and all, and you can supply drugs freely. So that is prohibited because it is not in the interest of the general public, and moreover it is against the morals.